Yahuwah said, do this, and that's what you will do. You don't have any right to do your own thing. You don't have any right. The right that Yahuwah has given to you is what you use to execute his commands. Yahuwah's commandment is the real life, is the foundation of life. Nothing else. Toda Rabba Yahuwah, Ba'asham Yahusha. The commandment of Yahuwah is the foundation of true life, of righteous living, of life with the joy, of life with shalom. Shalom, which the evil system translates to peace. The life that you want to live, you must live from the foundation, which is the 10th commandment of Yahuwah. And now we are now the 7th commandment. The 7th commandment of Yahuwah is from the book of Shamut. Shamut is the one the evil system translates to Exodus. Shamut chapter 20 verse 14. He said, you must not commit adultery. You must not commit adultery. Adultery. That means don't sleep with people's wife. And you don't allow people's wife to lure you to bed with them. You must not commit adultery. This is the daba of Yahuwah to you right now. This is the foundation of right living. You must not even think about it. He said, you must not commit adultery. Never in your life think of committing adultery. And let's see the account of YAHUAH. YAHUAH is the one the evil system translated to Joseph. YAHUAH is the time that YAHUAH even went to the bondage that the brothers sold him to Mizraim. Mizraim is what they translate to Egypt. When his brothers, the elder brothers, they sold him to Mizraim. He was there in a bondage, and suddenly they sold him to a palace guard, Potiphar. And Potiphar loved YAHUAH. He loved YAHUAH so much that he gave YAHUAH everything in his home to be in charge of all. That YAHUAH should be in charge of every of his estates that he have, every of his properties, every of his business. YAHUAH is not the owner, is not the coordinator of Potiphar's estate and businesses. Then let's see what happened. Now that the same Abarim, which they translate to Hebrew son, that they sold out to a different nation, is not doing well for himself. He's not in charge of a lot of things, controlling a full household of a rich man, a wealthy man. And let's see what happened in the next phase of his life. Toda Rabba Yahuwah, Ba'asham Yahusha. We're going to look at this account from Yubalim. Yubalim is the one the evil system translates to Jubilee. Yubalim chapter 39 verse 5 to 10. This Yubalim gives the exact account of what really happened. You know, Barashit is Genesis. Barashit gave the account, but the account is fully understood here in Yubalim. Toda Rabba Yahuwah. Verse 5, he said, and YAHUAH's appearance was comely and very beautiful was his appearance. And his master's woman lifted up her eyes and saw YAHUAH, and she loved him and besought him to lie with her. Because YAHUAH was built as a man, and he was a very handsome man. The woman was not lost towards YAHUAH. The wife of his master was not lost and lost towards her, sexual lust towards YAHUAH. In verse 6 say, but YAHUAH did not surrender his soul, and he remembered. He said, but YAHUAH did not surrender his soul, his own soul, but he remembered Yahuwah. You must remember Yahuwah in everything that you do in this arat. YAHUAH did not surrender his soul. So when you do anything that is against the will of Yahuwah, you have surrendered your soul to Ashatan. Yes. When you do anything that is against the will of Yahuwah for your life, when you go against Yahuwah's commandment, you have surrendered your soul to Ashatan already. He said, and YAHUAH did not surrender his soul. And YAHUAH remembered Yahuwah. He remembered Yahuwah. Remember Yahuwah in everything that you do, so that you will not surrender your soul to Ashatan. Because if you don't remember Yahuwah in everything that you do, you will unintentionally, without you even knowing, you will surrender your soul to Ashatan. He said, but Yahusha did not surrender his soul, and he remembered Yahuwah, and the words which Yaqub, his father, but let me come again. He said, but Yahusha did not surrender his soul, and he remembered Yahuwah, and the words which Yaqub, his father, used to read from among the words of Abraham, that no man should have sexual intercourse with a woman who has a man, that for him the punishment of death has been ordained in the Shamaim before our Leon, and the sin. Our Leon is the one they translate to English as Most High. Our Leon is the one they translate as Most High in English. He said, let me come again. But Yahusha did not surrender his soul, and he remembered Yahuwah and the words which Yaqub, his father, used to read from among the words of Abraham. You must teach your children, because this is, if it is his father, Yahusha's father did not teach him. If he did not read the truth to him, he will not remember what is right or wrong. As a parent, you must teach your children the right things of Yahuwah, the commandment of Yahuwah. Abraham taught his son Yashak, and Abraham taught his son and his grandson Yashak and Yaqub. Then Yaqub that taught his children. That's what Yahusha remembered. He said, but Yahusha did not surrender his soul, and he remembered Yahuwah, and the words which Yaqub, his father, used to read from among the words of Abraham, that no man should have sexual intercourse with a woman who has a man, that for him the punishment of death has been ordained in the Shamaim before our Lord, and the sin will be recorded against him in the eternal Shamaim, in the eternal Shafarim, which is books, continually before Yahuwah. He said the sin will be recorded in the eternal books before Yahuwah. He said it will be recorded continually before Yahuwah. Verse 7. He said, and Yahusha remembered these words and refused to lie with her. Verse 8. And she besought him for a year, but he refused. But Yahusha refused and would not listen. The woman continued to disturb Yahusha for 1 full year, a whole year. Yahusha did not give up his soul to the temptation that comes his way. He did not look at it because if I did not do this thing, how can I live in a no man's land? Just know Yahuwah will be with you when you are in the right path of Yahuwah. When you do the right things of Yahuwah, Yahuwah will be with you wherever you are in this arat. He said in a no man's land, and she besought him for a year, but Yahusha refused and would not listen. Verse 9. But she embraced him. The woman now embraced Yahusha with force. He said, but she embraced Yahusha and held him fast, and held Yahusha fast in the house, in order to force him to lie with her, and closed the doors of the house and held him fast. But he left his garment. Say, but Yahusha left his garment in her hands and broke through the door and fled out from her presence. When the thing have gotten to this state, if it is many people that does not know what to do, that gives into temptation, they will just give in. And there's nothing I will do anymore now. There's nothing. It has happened. What can I do? It's not me that started it. She's the one that started it. If I not do it now, I will not have here to go. I will not have here to stay. I will not have here to how to live. This is a no man's land. How can I live in a no man's land when I will leave this opportunity of this greener pasture that I am living now? To the Rabbi Yahuwah. I say, but she embraced herself and held him fast in the house, in order to force him to lie with her, and closed the door of the house and held him fast. But Yahusha left his garment in her hands and broke through the door and fled out of her presence. Verse 10. And the woman saw that Yahusha would not lie with her, and she bore false witness of him in the presence of his master, of Yahusah's master, which is Potiphar, saying, your aberrant servant whom you love sought to force me so that he might lie with me. And it came to pass, when I lifted up my voice, that he fled and left his garment in my hands. When I held him, and he broke through the door. He said, when I held him and he broke through the door, then the Yahuah broke through the door. Bear false witness, which is the ninth commandment. You must not bear false witness against your neighbor. Because when you start to do one, you will end up breaking the others. That's the truth. When you break one of the commandments, you will break all. You will disobey all. She now bear false witness against Yahuah that Yahuah want to force herself. Yahuah want to force himself on her. And because she shouted, Yahuah now left a garment on the bed. Now this is the first witness. And he said, and the mystery, which is the Mizraim, as the mystery saw the garment, which is the master, saw the garment of Yahuah and the broken door, and held the words of his woman, and cast Yahuah into prison, into the place where the prisoners were kept, whom the king imprisoned. Into the king prison, because Potiphar is one of the king's guard. So he now cast Yahuah into the king's prison. This is Yahuah's work now. Yahuah is doing something.